Here we are. I'm the guru. It's Sunday, NFL Sunday. We're going to talk about my picks for the week, and then we're also going to discuss the Erik Karlsson trade. We got couple of things to discuss. So last week, if you followed my picks, I want to say I'm sorry. All right, we started off 0-3. Week 1 is really tough in the NFL. And what can you say? We came close in some of the games. Pittsburgh tied, but we lost by the spread. We had Green Bay Packers. They didn't cover. And we had San Francisco, who barely lost they did not cover the spread. They lost by 8. The spread was 6.5. So, yeah, this is a brand new week. Week 2 is typically a lot better week for us. We're going to go with a few of the games that we think that the public is going to be wrong on, and that's why the line is going to be wrong. So let's just get into it. The Buffalo Bills are playing at home to the LA Chargers. Last week, Buffalo just got annihilated in all aspects of the game, 35, 36, 37, something like that. They're going to go with their starter, rookie Josh Allen, this week. They're at home. They're getting 7.5 points, and the public perception is that they are not very good. But we're getting 7.5 points with the Bills at home, and we're going to go with the Bills. So our first pick is the Buffalo Bills. Next pick, Pittsburgh. Again, Pittsburgh looked mediocre last week. Minus 4.5 they have over KC at home. We think Pittsburgh bounces back after that tie, and they come back and win this game outright and cover the spread. Pittsburgh minus 4.5. So we got the Bills at home plus 7.5. We got Pittsburgh minus 4.5. And then the last game, I apologize to my colleague from the east of the Fresno Clovis sector. I'm on the West Coast. He's on the East Coast. He's a big Jets fan. And yeah, the Jets had a great game on national television where they dominated. This is why, again, not particularly anything against the Jets, but this is why we're going to go against the Jets, because of the perception that there are a team that just ran over the game last week. And most people see it. When it's on prime time, the public sees more of the game, obviously. Miami's coming in, tough divisional rival. This is where it's going to be a very close game. Maybe it's going to be a tie going to the last quarter. It's going to come down to a field goal, and we're going to take the points here. We're going to take Miami plus 3. All right, so last week we went 0-3. This week our goal is to come back into the winning column and hopefully pick up a few wins. Buffalo plus 7.5. Pittsburgh minus 4.5. Miami plus 3. Take them to the bank. The guru said so. And the last, our guaranteed survival pick of the week, where we pick one game that without the spread, that's just going to win the game. We got the Rams over the Cardinals. Minus 13 is the spread, but we're going just for the win. We guarantee the Rams are going to win this game. All right, so there you have it. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Miami. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to have a winning week this week. If I lose all 3 games, then, yeah, I'm sorry. What am I wearing today? I'm wearing my Bengals jersey. I'm not a huge Bengals fan, but I'm a big 85 fan. 85, do you know who that is? Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, who revolutionized the way we wear our jerseys by changing his name. The NFL said, you cannot put something on your back that's not your name. And what did he do? He changed his name from Chad Johnson to Ocho Cinco. Amazing. That's why I bought this jersey. Anyways, on a tangent here. So those are my picks. I want to touch a little bit about the big trade in the NHL. The NHL a couple of days ago. The Sharks, who are looking to win right now. A couple of their players are getting older. Thornton, Pavelski, Marty Jones, not getting old, but anyways, Burns. Like, these guys a lot of these guys are in their prime, so they went and got, what they do? They went and got probably one of the best defensemen in the league, Erik Karlsson from the Ottawa Senators. What they give up? They gave up a couple of draft picks, possibly first-rounders, if a couple of conditions there, if Erik Karlsson signs long-term. He's only signed to a 1-year contract, so there's some, risk there picking him up. But if he signs to a long-term contract, looks like they will end up with 2 first-round picks. Now, if you're the San Jose Sharks and your plan is to contend for the Stanley Cup, those 2 first-round picks are not going to be much. So, they go and give up. Chris Tierney was a pretty decent player. Again, a 3rd or 4th line player right now on that team. They give up those first-round picks. They give up DeMello and Balsers, a couple of minor league players with part-time, duty with the Sharks. So basically, not losing too much from your lineup to get Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson, arguably right now, is probably the top 2 or 3 defensemen in the league, if not in the top 5, depending on how you look at it. He's a Norris Trophy winner. He's in his prime. He's a guy that's everyone wanted, right? So the Ottawa Senators, what are you guys doing, Ottawa? Now, I don't blame you for the lack of assets you got in this trade, because your hands are tied. You have to trade this guy. And when you have to make a trade, you're not going to get market value for it, right? And he has a no trade clause where he can only go to certain teams. Again, and he has to approve a lot of those trades. So, if you can't trade him to Phoenix, because he probably says, I don't want to go to Phoenix. And the other thing is, you don't want to trade him to the East. You don't want to trade him to like a Toronto or a Boston or a Tampa, even though looked like he was going to Tampa at one point, but you don't want to trade him to the East because you don't want him to come back and haunt you. So what happens? They trade him to San Jose. What we believe in the hockey world, they didn't get a huge return. Now, I don't blame you again on the return. I blame you on how you dealt with the situation. Your owner, Eugene Melnyk, should not be an owner in the NHL. You don't want to pay these players. You don't want to spend up to the cap. There's a cap in place. You don't want to spend up to the cap. Sell your team. If I'm a fan of yours, I'm disgusted by my ownership. They're not spending the money to keep these players. Erik Karlsson, these guys don't they don't grow on trees. You can draft these guys. They take years to develop, 4, 5, 6 years. You look at a guy like him. You look at a guy like Drew Doughty, PK Subban, Weber. There's only a handful of guys, and most teams don't have a great quarterback like this guy. And now the Sharks have 2. Like, you put Burns next to Karlsson on the power play. This is scary. So the Ottawa Senators, you've messed up. You're a terrible team, and you don't deserve to be in the NHL. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel. So the Sharks are automatically a Stanley Cup contender. The West has gotten better, way better. The Kings have added some pieces. They've added Kovalchuk. The Knights have added Pacioretty. It's an arms race in the West. The West is scary. The historic teams that have done well in the West, Chicago, probably on a bit of a downside. The Blues added a couple of great players. Ryan O'Reilly, and they added a good defensive player in Tyler Bozak. The Knights, the Kings, obviously, the Sharks, and let's not count out the Edmonton Oilers, who have the best player in the NHL, and not just the West. So the West is looking really good, and the West is going to be very tough to get out of, and the San Jose Sharks win this trade. The San Jose Sharks, they'll go and get John Tavares. They missed out on that, but they got the next best thing. Erik Karlsson is a San Jose Shark, and if you're a Sharks fan this week, you have to be very excited about the future of the San Jose Sharks, because they got a good one. And training camp started. The games are started already. There was a game in China yesterday. There's some games today, and full-blown training camp. We're only a couple of weeks away from hockey season, October 3rd. I'm excited. My team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, looking good. I'm very excited. I'm predicting Toronto and San Jose in the final. We'll get more into that as we get closer to the opening night. We're gonna have some previews in the next couple of weeks. But today's NFL day. We got Ocho Cinco jersey. We got, don't forget, the Buffalo Bills plus 7.5, Pittsburgh minus 4.5, and the Miami Dolphins plus 3. This is the Guru. I am guaranteeing a good week this week. I want to go 3-0 to get back to 500. If I go 2-1, I'll be happy. 3-0 is my goal. So thank you for watching. It's Sunday. Enjoy some time with the family. Go grab your favorite beverage. Maybe go outside and do some barbecuing. It's still beautiful weather out here in the West Coast in Fresno. 75 to 80 degrees today. We're going to have a little bit of a family get-together, watch some football, enjoy the day with the kids. And I hope you do that with your family as well. Also, make sure to check out my friend Darren Redmond's wrap-up, where he talks about college football. He also will talk about NFL, baseball. Very knowledgeable guy. Make sure you listen and make sure you watch. This is the Guru. Serge Bogosian. Have yourself a wonderful Sunday.